Tom Cruise has finally said the quiet part out loud. In an industry where almost every major voice stays silent or sides with the popular narrative, Cruise just broke the pattern. His recent comments about Hollywood's growing obsession with politics and division have sparked a wildfire across social media and inside the studios themselves. And while most stars are busy polishing their public image, Cruise chose to do something few have dared in years: speak with brutal honesty. The entertainment world has been in chaos after a string of high-profile controversies and public feuds between actors over political issues. Some celebrities are accused of exploiting real-world tragedies for attention, while others are calling for unity. In the middle of that storm, Cruise stepped forward with a calm but pointed message that instantly divided Hollywood. Was it courage or career suicide? And that's where today's story begins, because behind the headlines, there's far more happening than one actor's opinion. Quiet boardroom arguments, silent unfollows, private studio meetings, it all points to one thing: Cruise may have just drawn a line that the rest of Hollywood wasn't ready to face. For months, Hollywood has felt like a pressure cooker ready to burst. Every award show turns into a political statement. Every red carpet comment seems crafted to trend rather than to mean something. Viewers are tuning out, frustrated with what feels less like storytelling and more like lectures. The industry that once united audiences through imagination now risks alienating them through division. Whispers from insiders suggest that even top-tier directors are struggling to keep their projects free from outside agendas. Marketing teams debate how safe certain themes are before greenlighting a trailer. And when one well-known actor made an offhand joke about a national tragedy, the backlash was immediate and global. That moment reignited the debate about where the line should be drawn between creative expression and sensitivity. Into that tense atmosphere walked Tom Cruise, a name synonymous with professionalism, precision, and control. For decades, he's avoided taking sides publicly, focusing instead on the craft of filmmaking. So when he finally broke his silence, people paid attention, and not everyone liked what they heard. Cruise's statement came during an interview meant to promote his next major action film, but the conversation took a sharp turn when the host asked what he thought about actors using their platforms to comment on the current state of the world. His answer was calm, measured, and unmistakably firm. Once you start dragging politics into the middle of your art, you stop creating connection. You start creating walls. Audiences come to escape, not to be recruited. Within hours, clips of that moment spread across social media. Fans flooded comment sections with praise, saying it was refreshing to hear someone in Hollywood talk about focus and respect. But not everyone was cheering. A number of industry figures quietly criticized him, accusing him of oversimplifying a complex issue. What Cruise said wasn't a random outburst. It was part of a consistent philosophy he's carried throughout his career: keep the focus on the story, not the statement. And the fact that he chose to restate it now, when Hollywood seems more divided than ever, gave his words extra weight. Still, this was just the beginning. Behind the scenes, some people were furious. Almost immediately after Cruise's comments, subtle tremors began to spread through the industry. Producers who had recently worked with him received quiet calls asking if he would clarify his remarks. Publicists debated whether to let the topic fade or to issue official responses. Meanwhile, actors started taking sides without saying a word, some liking supportive posts, others quietly unfollowing him. Insiders described it as a cold war of opinions. No open confrontation, no dramatic cancellations, just tension you could feel in every boardroom. A few rising stars privately admitted that they agreed with him, but were afraid to say so publicly. "You risk being labeled," one director reportedly said. "No one wants that in this climate." But Cruise didn't back down. He ignored the noise, continued filming, and refused to expand on his statement. To his longtime colleagues, that silence said even more than his words. It was a quiet stand against what he saw as Hollywood's growing habit of self-destruction.
And this wasn't the first time he'd pushed back against the system.
Tom Cruise has never exactly played by Hollywood's usual rules. Over the years, he's developed a reputation for perfectionism, not just in stunts or performances, but in how his films are made. He negotiates his own production deals, oversees marketing strategies, and fights to maintain creative control. While other stars hired teams to manage their image, Cruise seems to operate on instinct and discipline. Insiders say that this independence often puts him at odds with major studio executives, but it's also the reason his movies consistently perform. He doesn't chase trends, he builds experiences. During one earlier interview, long before this controversy, he mentioned that his goal was always to make movies that make people forget their problems for 2 hours. That statement now reads like a prelude to his latest stand. Fans see him as one of the last great movie-first actors, someone who treats film as craft rather than commentary. And in an age when even blockbusters are evaluated through political lenses, that old-school approach feels almost rebellious. Yet Cruise's words aren't just about nostalgia, they're about survival. Because what's happening in Hollywood now could determine the future of the entire industry. To understand why Cruise's message hit such a nerve, you have to look at the larger picture. Since the mid-2010s, studios have faced one of the steepest audience declines in history. Some blame streaming, others blame global economics, but many insiders quietly admit that over-politicization plays a role. Viewers are tired of being preached to. They want stories, not sides. Several high-budget films filled with political overtones have flopped spectacularly, while straightforward adventure or fantasy stories continue to succeed. This contrast has executives rethinking strategy, though few will say it publicly. Cruise's statement then wasn't just a personal opinion, it exposed an internal industry struggle that many hope to keep quiet. And here's where the irony lies. The very people who criticized him may secretly agree. Marketing departments track audience sentiment more closely than ever, and they know exactly when fans disengage. Cruise simply said what those analytics have been showing for years. But he wasn't the only one willing to speak up. A small but growing number of actors have started echoing his concerns. After Cruise's remarks, several well-known figures, veterans and newcomers alike, voiced subtle support. Tim Allen praised the importance of entertainment being entertainment. Mel Gibson mentioned that films should unite, not divide. Even Sylvester Stallone commented that audiences just want to see a good story again. On the other side, outspoken critics accused them of dodging responsibility or pretending art doesn't reflect society. The debate became a digital battlefield, with fans rallying under hashtags defending free creative expression, while others insisted that silence equals complicity. But what went largely unnoticed was the effect inside Hollywood's power circles. Rumors suggest that private conversations began happening between directors, producers, and marketing heads, discussions about dialing back overt political messaging to regain audience trust. Whether Cruise's words directly caused that shift or merely accelerated it doesn't matter. The timing speaks for itself. For the first time in years, Hollywood seems to be questioning its own trajectory, and at the center of that reflection stands one man who has built his legacy on discipline, focus, and cinematic escape. In the end, Tom Cruise's message wasn't about politics, it was about purpose. He reminded an industry obsessed with attention that its real power lies in imagination, not ideology. His statement challenged every actor, writer, and filmmaker to ask a difficult question. Are we creating stories that bring people together or pushing them further apart? Whether you agree with him or not, his words cut through the noise in a way few others could. Maybe that's because Cruise represents a rare kind of Hollywood figure, someone who still believes in movies as shared experiences, not moral lectures. And in a world where outrage has become entertainment, that belief feels revolutionary. The real test will be what happens next. Will studios listen to the audiences walking away? Will more stars speak up for neutrality? Or will Hollywood double down on the very habits that are driving fans out of theaters? One thing is certain, when Tom Cruise talks, the industry listens. And this time, his message isn't about death-defying stunts or box office numbers, it's about saving the magic of film itself. So what do you think? Is Cruise right to call out the system? Or is this just another headline that will fade before the next premiere? Let me know in the comments below, because this story, like Hollywood, is far from over.